Breaking news. What if the Social Security check you depend on every single month just suddenly changed? What if, without any warning, your payment was reduced, delayed, or even stopped altogether? It may sound impossible. But here's the truth. Major changes are already in motion. And if you're a senior, disabled, or relying on survivor or spousal benefits, your next payment could be at risk. This isn't speculation. This is happening. And in the next few minutes, we'll break down what's really going on, what's about to change, and what you must do now to protect your benefits. Let's begin with what Washington hasn't told you. In recent months, the Social Security Administration has quietly made adjustments behind the scenes, updates to payment schedules, eligibility reviews, overpayment audits, and even benefit recalculations based on new COLA projections for 2025. And yet, many beneficiaries still have no idea how these changes could directly impact them. For example, some retirees are receiving letters from the SSA warning them of possible overpayments, even when they haven't changed their income or status. Others are being asked to verify their earnings, resubmit banking details, or go through unexpected eligibility reviews. If your paperwork isn't up to date, if your banking info has errors, or if your income has changed even slightly, your benefit could be delayed, reduced, or withheld without notice. In fact, reports from July 2025 suggest that tens of thousands of payments were flagged for manual review due to suspected discrepancies. That means thousands of people didn't receive their checks on time, and some didn't receive them at all. And here's something even more shocking. Due to new budget policies, the SSA is under pressure to reduce wasteful spending. This includes re-evaluating who truly qualifies and who might be receiving too much. That includes widows, divorced spouses, people receiving both SSI and SSDI, and even seniors collecting delayed retirement benefits. In some cases, recipients who were promised higher payouts based on delayed retirement credits are now being reassessed. Why? Because the SSA is implementing new methods to calculate delayed benefits, and some are being told they no longer qualify for the increase they were expecting. But it doesn't stop there. COLA projections for 2025 are expected to be lower than anticipated, despite inflation still hurting seniors at the grocery store, gas pump, and pharmacy. What does that mean for you? If you were counting on a large cost of living adjustment to help keep up with rising prices, you might be in for a disappointing January. The SSA's latest inflation model has quietly revised the upcoming COLA increase from 3.2% to just 2.1%, and it could go even lower. That would make it one of the smallest increases in the last decade, at a time when seniors are facing record rent hikes and medical bills. And there's more. Some lawmakers are pushing to means test future Social Security benefits. In other words, your assets, retirement accounts, or even your spouse's income could be used to reduce the check you receive, especially for SSDI and early retirement beneficiaries. While nothing has been passed yet, the pressure is building. Behind closed doors, there are already proposals being circulated that would shrink benefits for middle-income retirees, while offering slightly more to the poorest recipients. That might sound fair on paper, but in practice it means millions could receive smaller checks just because they saved a little more or worked a little longer. Now, here's what you need to do right now to protect your payment. First, log into your SSA.gov account immediately. Check that your banking info is accurate. If you've recently changed banks or closed an account, update it before the next payment cycle to avoid a bounce back. Second, review your income and work status. Even part-time work or self-employment must be reported properly to avoid being flagged. Third, watch for any notices in the mail or online. The SSA is now issuing request for information letters more frequently. Ignoring even one letter could put your payment at risk. Fourth, be prepared to re-verify your disability status or survivor benefit claim if you receive SSDI or dependents benefits. This is especially true if you haven't updated your file in years. Fifth, track the upcoming COLA announcements. They're usually made in October, but this year they may arrive earlier due to pressure from advocacy groups and Congress. Sixth, know your appeal rights. If the SSA claims you owe money or decides to lower your benefit, you do have a right to challenge it, but the clock starts ticking the moment you receive that letter. And seventh, stay informed. Congress is back in session next week, and Social Security reform is on the agenda again. That includes controversial proposals like raising the retirement age, eliminating dual benefits, and capping cost of living increases. If even one of these proposals currently being debated in Washington passes, it could trigger an immediate shift in how Social Security benefits are calculated, delivered, or even who qualifies. We're not talking about slow, phased-in changes. These adjustments could take effect within weeks, cutting into the lifeline millions rely on. This means that seniors living paycheck to paycheck, disabled individuals depending on SSDI, and widows receiving survivor benefits could see their checks reduced, delayed, or questioned, without adequate warning. Imagine waking up to find your direct deposit didn't arrive. That's not paranoia. It's a real risk if just one policy gets pushed through. And that's what makes this moment so unsettling. These aren't small edits to paperwork or behind-the-scenes updates. These are deep structural changes that could directly affect how much you get each month and whether you receive anything at all. You worked your whole life for this. You did your part. Decades of service, jobs held, taxes paid, every single paycheck contributed to this very system. It was a promise that when you reached retirement, became disabled, or lost a spouse, you'd be supported. You paid into the system faithfully. Social Security wasn't a handout. It was a commitment between you and your country. You gave your time, your energy, your income. And now, when it's your turn to receive, that commitment is being questioned. That's why these new changes feel so unfair. You deserve consistency. You deserve to know that your benefit won't suddenly disappear due to a vote, a budget cut, or a spreadsheet formula. You planned your life around this income, and there shouldn't be surprises this late in the game. But that's exactly what many seniors are facing right now. Unexpected letters from the SSA, requests for income re-verification, adjustments to benefits based on shifting inflation formulas. It's chaos, and for those already on a tight budget, it's terrifying. Right now, the future of Social Security is anything but stable. Between rising national debt, political gridlock, and competing policy agendas, the system is under real pressure. And in that pressure, mistakes can happen, cuts can happen, lives can be disrupted. So if you or someone you care about depends on Social Security, now is the time to stay informed, double-check your account, and speak up. Because these benefits aren't guaranteed unless we protect them together. The only way to stay ahead is to stay informed. So if you haven't already, subscribe, share this update, and don't miss what's coming next. Because your next Social Security check may depend on it. Disclaimer: this video is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not provide financial, legal, or government advice. The content is based on publicly available information and current policy discussions as of the date of recording. Social Security policies and benefits are subject to change, and individual circumstances may vary. Viewers are strongly encouraged to consult with a qualified financial advisor or contact the Social Security Administration directly for personalized guidance related to their benefits. We are not affiliated with any government agency.